story begins with Lin Yuan running desperately down a rain-soaked street while someone is shouting at him to stop, because apparently, debt collectors don't believe in rest days. Suddenly, two thugs appear and ask a hunched old man where the boy ran off to. However, the white-haired man stays silent under his hood and gives no response at all. The stronger of the two gets annoyed at the lack of answer and grabs the old man by the collar, yelling at him. Then the bigger one becomes furious and prepares to punch him, accusing him of playing dumb. But before he can do anything, Lin Yuan returns and shouts at them to stop. He says he is the one they are looking for, and there's no need to trouble anyone else, a rare moment of decency in a world that seems to have forgotten what the word means. The loan sharks are surprised that the debtor had the guts to come back and face them. Without thinking twice, the guy with the red bandana punches Lin Yuan hard in the stomach. He falls to the ground, coughing, while the collectors demand that he repay the loan. He begs for more time and asks them to wait until next month. A loan shark lifts him by his shirt and threatens that if he doesn't repay soon, they will destroy his home. He pleads for just a few more days, but the thug has no interest in bargaining. Empathy isn't exactly a job requirement in his line of work. He throws Lin Yuan violently onto the ground. After that, the collectors decide to leave, abandoning him beaten and lying in a puddle of water. He thinks he can't let them go because Amy is still at home. In desperation, he gets up and attacks one of the thugs from behind with something lying on the ground. However, he is easily knocked down again and falls hard while the loan shark complains about his stubbornness. Some people just don't know when to stay down. Suddenly, a luxury car stops on the wet road, drawing everyone's attention. A man steps out while someone holds an umbrella over him so he won't get wet. To Lin Yuan's shock, the man who steps out is the boss of the Golden Hair Group, and he is with a woman named Amy. He is completely stunned and asks her what she is doing there with that man. She replies coldly, telling him not to call her like that, and reveals that her new boyfriend is the young master of the Sun family. Despair, he shouts that this can't be true because they had been together for the past 10 years, a decade of devotion, apparently worth less than a luxury car and a fancy title. At that moment, the girl's mother appears and calls him shameless, saying he ruined her daughter's life. He questions her and remembers that he borrowed money from loan sharks for her heart surgery. But the ungrateful mother-in-law says no one asked him to borrow money, and that her new son-in-law gives extremely expensive gifts. The ex-girlfriend adds that it was his own choice because he always promised to do anything for her. He argues that he supported her through college and even mortgaged his house to help her open her design studio. In anger, the woman slaps him, calls him a loser, and says her daughter now belongs to someone rich. Then lightning cuts across the dark sky, as if marking the end of everything for the poor boy. Nature itself seems to be punctuating his humiliation. The young master approaches and tells Lin Yuan to know his place and disappear before repaying his debt. He remains silent, completely shattered by the double betrayal he just suffered. He trembles in anger, realizing that 10 years of love and all the sacrifices he made meant absolutely nothing. The young master tells the woman and her mother to get into the car, and they both agree without hesitation. As they drive away, the ex-mother-in-law even says that just seeing a debtor's face brings bad luck, the final insult delivered from the comfort of a luxury vehicle. The henchman then asks their boss what to do with him, and the leader tells them to follow the rules. The bandana-wearing thug gives his master a malicious smile, confirming that he understands. Soon, a scream of pain echoes through the dark, rainy alley, showing that something terrible has happened. The loan shark with glasses warns him that the injured leg is just the interest, and if he doesn't repay by next month, it will be even worse. With that, they leave, abandoning the young man unconscious in the rain, just another body on the street, invisible to the world. The hooded figure approaches, lying. On the ground, Lin Yuan tells the old man to leave so he won't get involved in his problems. But the elderly man simply smiles and tells the boy not to lose hope because there is still time for everything. Easy for someone to say who isn't bleeding in a puddle. He says that his girlfriend left him and now he is drowning in debt. At that moment, he feels a notification on his phone and wonders what it could be. He takes out his phone from his pocket to check the message. To his shock, the screen shows that 1 million yuan has been deposited into his bank account. He stands there stunned, holding the phone in his hand, wondering if he is imagining things. When you're at rock bottom, a sudden deposit feels like divine intervention. He thinks that this is too good to be true. Finally, he sees that 1 million yuan has actually been deposited and says, "What is this? Isn't this too much of a coincidence? I mean, I did think about getting 10 million, but isn't this a bit too big of a coincidence?" Celebrating. He gets up and shouts that the day of his comeback has finally arrived, only to immediately remember that his leg is still very much broken. And the old man offers to help. "First, let me take you to the hospital." At the hospital, an arrogant young man looks at them with disgust and complains about the smell coming from them, because nothing says "I'm better than you" like performing class anxiety in a waiting room. The receptionist informs them that the medical fee is 500 yuan, and a standard room costs 10,000 yuan per day. Hearing the price of 10,000 per day, Lin Yuan is shocked and says he won't be admitted. The receptionist gets angry and accuses him of pretending to be rich without even having a single penny. But he simply gives a confident smile because now the situation is very different. Smiling, he places a card on the counter and says he wants the best room in the hospital. She is still suspicious and takes the card thinking he is just joking. But when she swipes it, her eyes widen in shock at the transaction result. Money has a way of changing people's attitudes faster than anything else. Her expression changes immediately and she addresses him as Mr. Lin, promising that she will handle everything. Now in the VIP room, he receives first-class treatment, including massage and special care. He also enjoys specially prepared gourmet meals for his recovery. With all this care, his injured leg gradually heals without any complications. The nurse later informs him that he is completely fine and can be discharged from the hospital. Renewed and confident, he walks out with the old man by his side. At that moment, he remembers the betrayal and swears that he will take back everything he lost because of that woman. Revenge is a dish best served with a side of compound interest. Outside, he thanks the old man and tries to give him a card as payment, but the old man refuses. He insists, saying that his fate changed because of him and that he considers him his benefactor. Suddenly, a passing streamer notices the scene and decides to come closer to record it, because in the modern age, even acts of kindness are content. Just then, the elderly man suddenly collapses to the ground. The streamer's chat urges him to help, but the content creator hesitates, thinking it might be a scam to extort money. Without thinking, Lin Yuan pushes the streamer aside and rushes to help the fallen old man, carrying him on his back and running into the hospital while the chat praises his actions. The old man silently thinks to himself that he knew he had not misjudged his character. Some people reveal who they are when no one is watching. Quickly, he takes the old man to the emergency room for treatment. The doctor informs him that the patient has suffered a cerebral hemorrhage and needs immediate surgery. Determined, he says that the old man's life is important and that he will pay all the expenses. The doctor confirms that he will handle everything and takes the patient into the operating room. Watching him leave, the doctor thinks to himself that money really makes people more courageous, or at least more decisive. While waiting, Lin Yuan stands outside the hospital with a confident expression. He thinks about how unbelievable it feels to have no worries about money anymore. He now walks through the city with confidence, knowing that he is no longer a poor, indebted loser. Suddenly, he hears shouting from a building, someone demanding overdue rent. The next moment, a photo frame is thrown out of a window and shatters right in front of him. The broken frame reveals a childhood photo of him with his parents, both smiling happily, a memory preserved in glass, now scattered on pavement. Carefully, he picks up the photo from the ground to save his family picture. He looks at it with a serious and determined expression. An acquaintance approaches him and warns him that the landlord is furious and looking for him. His friend finds his calmness strange and wonders when he became so composed. People notice when the downtrodden stop looking downtrodden. When he reaches home, the landlady greets him by shouting angrily, holding a broom in her hand. She threatens him, saying he won't be allowed to stay unless he pays 3 months' rent. She then complains about her bad luck, saying she ended up with a useless and penniless tenant, like as if poverty were a personal insult to her. He looks at the photo and thinks that he already caused his parents pain during the first half of their lives. The shouting attracts the neighbors who come outside to see what's happening. One neighbor comments that he heard he doesn't pay rent and that his girlfriend dumped him. Another resident agrees, calling him pitiful and saying he deserved to be dumped. Gossip is the sport of those with nothing better to do. The landlady becomes even more irritated by his silence and asks if he is pretending to be deaf. She continues lecturing him, saying that in all her years of renting properties, she has never seen someone so shameless. She yells that he must pay today, otherwise where will she get money to play mahjong? She raises her hand to slap him, but he suddenly grabs her wrist and with a cold look asks, "Is this what you want?" She is confused by his question and just stares at him, unable to understand. Then he transfers 6,000 yuan to her. She checks her account and is shocked to see the money credited. She can't believe that this poor boy now has money to pay rent. The world makes sense again when the script is flipped. However, his indifferent and calm attitude only makes her more annoyed. The young man then shows her his phone, and a notification displays a balance of nearly 100 million yuan. In disbelief, she realizes that her entire building isn't even worth the loose change in his account, a humbling moment for someone who thought she was the queen of her little kingdom. With a superior look, he asks if she has seen enough. She is left speechless. He smiles and says he has an idea since she loves collecting rent so much. Then the newly rich man announces that he is going to buy the entire building so she can continue collecting rent for him. Gossiping neighbors start mocking him, calling him a country bumpkin and useless trash, because people love to tear down anyone who dares to rise. Nervously, the landlady stammers that the market price of the building is 4.5 million yuan. He offers 10 million along with a card and tells her to use the rest to renovate everything. She immediately takes the card with a wide smile and assures him that she will handle everything perfect. Loyalty is a function of the paycheck. He then turns to the neighbors and gives everyone 3 days to pack up. Furious, they shout that their leases haven't ended and their rent has been paid. The new boss declares that the building now belongs to him and his word is law. He firmly states that in 3 days he doesn't want to see anyone still living there, and the landlady quickly supports him. The power dynamic has shifted faster than anyone could process. The scene shifts to night in front of a luxurious and prestigious hotel in the city. Now wealthy, he confidently walks along the red carpet toward the entrance. At the reception, an employee greets him and asks if he has a reservation. He looks confused and says he didn't make any reservation. Old habits die hard, and confidence takes time to build. At that moment, a voice calls him a loser and questions his audacity to enter a five-star hotel. He turns and realizes that his ex-girlfriend and the young master are there. She tells him to wake up to reality and stop clinging to her because everything is over. With disdain, he calls her delusional for thinking he still cares about her. The chapter is closed, but she keeps trying to read it. She accuses him of following her just to kneel and beg while her boyfriend encourages her to ignore him. Angry, he clenches his fists and tells his ex that she has crossed the line. Just then, the loan sharks appear and surround him, asking if he finally got the money. His ex-girlfriend warns him that the young master is a special guest and that he better not cause any trouble, but he cuts her off, saying he only came to check in, not to listen to her nonsense. Enraged, she raises her hand to slap him for insulting her. However, he easily grabs her wrist and says he doesn't have time to deal with the two of them. The tables have turned, and she doesn't like the view. Bandana-wearing loan shark becomes furious and threatens him for speaking like that. But before he can do anything, a firm voice suddenly shouts for everyone to stop. The collectors are shocked to see who has arrived and immediately recognize a certain Mr. Lee. The man who appears is Layan, the biggest partner of the Golden Hair Group and an extremely important figure. Master Sun quickly apologizes to the newcomer for the embarrassing scene and invites him inside. He then says that Lin Yuan is just a useless nobody and that he was about to throw him out of the hotel. With that, one of the henchmen grabs him, preparing to drag him outside, but suddenly a walking stick slams hard against the floor. The commotion stops instantly. Mr. Lee's expression turns cold with anger. He warns them that if anyone dares to touch the young man, he will bankrupt the Golden Hair Group. The surrounding crowd is stunned, whispering and wondering what kind of relationship exists between Lin Yuan and such an important figure. Master Sun is completely confused as the influential man walks straight past him. Layan approaches closely and says that he has finally found him. However, Lin Yuan doesn't recognize him at all. When you save a stranger's father, you don't expect his billionaire son to show up later. Clears his throat and introduces himself as Layan, revealing that Lin Yuan is the benefactor of his family. The wealthy man explains that his father had collapsed on the street, and it was Lin Yuan who saved him and paid all the medical expenses. At this point, Master Sun interrupts, suggesting there must be some mistake. He even shows proof of Lin Yuan's debt, claiming that a debtor like him could never afford such payments. Poor people aren't supposed to be capable of generosity, apparently. With a look of disdain, the heir of the Lee family takes out his phone and says he also has something to show. The screen displays hospital security footage showing Lin Yuan helping the elderly man. The couple is stunned. The woman thinks to herself, if he was truly broke, how was this possible? The cognitive dissonance is giving her whiplash. As a gesture of gratitude, Layan offers a diamond card and declares that the Lee family will cover everything for him. At that moment, all the security guards kneel down in respect and gratitude for saving the old master. The gang leader, the ex-girlfriend, and Master Sun are even more shocked when they see the VIP diamond card. Someone in the crowd whispers that only 3 people in the world possess such a card, and one of them is kneeling in front of a former debtor. Lin Yuan refuses the gift, calmly saying that saving someone is a basic human duty and that he can handle his own debts. He gives a confident smile, showing his determination to solve everything himself, but the old man's son insists, offering the card as a gift between friends. The security guards kneel again and sincerely beg him to accept it. To avoid further trouble, he finally accepts the card, and Layan looks extremely pleased. The ex-girlfriend whispers to her boyfriend that the loser really got lucky, as if luck were the only explanation for someone she dismissed actually having value. Ignoring them, Layan orders Sun to transfer his presidential suite to Mr. Lin. Master Sun is completely stunned. He can't believe he now has to serve the former debtor. He protests, calling him useless. The woman adds that a loser doesn't deserve a presidential suite. Angered, Layan accuses them of insulting the Lee family and threatens to cancel an important project. Sun's face turns pale. He remembers that 70% of his family's income comes from the Lee family. Desperate, he immediately changes his attitude and respectfully invites Lin Yuan to proceed inside. He cannot afford to lose that project. Layan turns to leave with his new friend, but Sun quickly runs after them. He bows deeply and apologizes, admitting that he failed to recognize an important person. The woman, confused, asks why her boyfriend is apologizing to a loser. Sun's face twists in pure rage as he realizes she doesn't understand the seriousness of the situation. In a sudden fit of anger, he slaps her across the face, shouting that she dared to insult Mr. Lee's benefactor. She falls to the floor in shock, unable to believe she was slapped because of her ex-boyfriend. Sun orders her to kneel immediately and apologize to Mr. Lin. He then turns toward Lin and Layan, begging for forgiveness, saying the woman has no brains and shouldn't be taken seriously. Lin cuts him off and coldly warns that this is enough for now because their accounts won't be settled in a single day. He's playing the long game. Sun quickly agrees and politely says goodbye, even inviting both of them for breakfast sometime. With that, the former debtor and his new ally step into the elevator. The doors close right in front of the stunned couple. Left alone in the hallway, Sun's eyes burn with hatred as he silently swears that he will never forget the humiliation he suffered today. Some lessons are learned in blood and embarrassment. The next day, inside the presidential suite, Leon asks whether everything has been satisfactory for his new friend. He smiles and confirms that everything is perfect. The wealthy man then gives a mysterious order, telling the staff to take good care of him. He is completely confused by the situation as two men escort him away. Soon he finds himself relaxing on a comfortable sofa, while two women give him a massage to relieve his fatigue from the day before, a perk of having a billionaire benefactor. His friend explains that this is just his personal gratitude. He even says that he will bring his father personally to formally thank Lin Yuan's parents. Hearing this, he reflects on everything and thinks that this must be how high society operates. Money opens doors, and gratitude opens even more. The scene cuts to the next day, showing a beautiful sunny view of the city and its towering skyscrapers. An employee appears to help him choose a new suit so he can start the day dressed properly. Wearing elegant new clothes, he bids farewell and prepares to carry out the plans forming in his mind. With a confident smile, he decides that he will first buy a car and then use it to pick up his parents. Fully dressed and confident, the former debtor walks out of the luxury hotel to put his plan into action. Meanwhile, a man wearing sunglasses secretly watches him and reports over the phone that the target has just left the location. He then gets into a car and tells the driver to follow him so they don't lose sight of him. Someone is very interested in his new circumstances. At the same time, our hero arrives at a luxury car dealership to make his first major purchase. The salesman approaches with a smile and greets him, asking if he would like to look at the cars. He calmly replies that yes, that's exactly why he's here. However, another arrogant employee interrupts the conversation. The blue-haired salesman calls him a pauper. He firmly states that he is here to buy a car. The salesman mocks him, saying his cheap clothes already show that he's just a loser pretending to be a customer. Losing patience, he removes the man's hand from his shoulder. The salesman becomes angry at his attitude. Suddenly, his ex-girlfriend appears with Master Sun, who calls him a broke loser and glares at him. She removes her sunglasses and asks mockingly whether he even thinks he can afford to look at a Maybach. Master Sun warns him not to think his life has changed just because he was lucky enough to meet Mr. Lei. He even arrogantly boasts that the girl he loved for 10 years is now his fiancée. Golden Hair Group's henchmen laugh and make jokes about his uselessness. His ex-girlfriend thinks disdainfully that she never truly valued him because she always knew he was worthless, a self-fulfilling prophecy if there ever was one. Calmly, he agrees and says that if they were still together, she certainly wouldn't be riding in a Maybach. Then with confidence, he points ahead and reveals that the car he intends to buy is actually that one. Everyone turns to look and sees a limited edition Bugatti worth 130 million yuan, a car that costs more than most people's houses, several times over. The arrogant salesman bursts into laughter and gives him 5 seconds to leave immediately, but he ignores him and hands his card to the first salesman, telling him to handle the sale. The employee takes the card with trembling hands and swipes it through the machine to close the deal. To everyone's shock, the screen displays 130 million yuan transferred successfully. Money talks, and this time it's screaming. The blue-haired salesman turns pale, wondering how that loser could possibly have that kind of money. At that moment, the sound of high heels clicking echoes through the showroom as the store manager approaches angrily. She slaps the arrogant salesman and calls him a fool for insulting the owner of a Bugatti. In the luxury business, you never judge a book by its cover. The other employee is stunned by his boss's actions while he calmly watches the scene unfold. The manager turns toward the customer and promotes the polite salesman on the spot, granting him full commission from the sale. The newly promoted employee becomes emotional, thanking her repeatedly and bowing to both the manager and his new client. He comments that he deserved it. Unlike those who only know how to look down on others, kindness pays dividends. The arrogant salesman stands there in disbelief as the manager announces that he is officially fired. Desperate, the young man begs for another chance, admitting he made a huge mistake by judging a customer based on appearance. He even falls to his knees before him, pleading for mercy to keep his job. But security guards drag him away while he cries about his debts and mortgage payments. Karma has a sense of humor, and it loves irony. With everything settled, the manager smiles and offers him 30 days of exclusive service, including a personal model and a luxury driver. She then introduces the beautiful Jin Woo, a world champion driver, who will accompany him on this new journey. Master Sun tries to approach, but a security guard blocks him, warning that only Bugatti owners are allowed to speak here. The ultimate class barrier. Furious and frustrated, the rich young master clenches his teeth and thinks that he only gained all of this because of the Li family's influence, conveniently ignoring his own years of unearned privilege. The next day, he arrives at his old village driving a supercar with his elegant driver beside him. He waves at 2 elderly women resting in the shade. They stare in shock, realizing who has returned home. They quickly ask why his ex-girlfriend didn't come along and who this beautiful young lady is. With an elegant smile, the model introduces herself to the aunties, explaining that she is only his private driver, a detail that sends their gossip circuits into overdrive. He calmly says goodbye and tells them he is going to see his parents. The neighbors remain speechless as he walks away. As soon as he leaves, the gossip begins. They whisper that he must be pretending to be rich just to show off, because for small minds, success is always a conspiracy. When he arrives in front of his house, he remembers how simple but honest life used to be in that old place. Suddenly, a loud scream shatters the peaceful atmosphere inside the house. Someone is threatening a defenseless old man. He feels his blood boil when he hears the bully's voice intimidating his family inside their own home. He rushes inside and sees a thug grabbing his father by the collar while his mother is crying helplessly on the living room floor. His father tries to defend himself, saying he only bumped into a small tree sapling and that the amount they're demanding is unreasonable. But the thug shouts that it was a very expensive imported pine tree and demands 100,000 yuan immediately for the damage, a scam wrapped in a threat. His accomplice suggests taking all the valuables from the house. Meanwhile, the bald villain smirks wickedly. At that moment, he orders them to stop. The bully turns angrily and demands to know who dares to interrupt. With a sneer, he recognizes him and starts mocking him, saying that the great debtor-loser has decided to come back. The other thug laughs and jokes that he probably couldn't even beg for food in the big city. Enraged, he warns them not to cross the line and asks why they are harassing his parents. Bald leader lies, claiming that his father destroyed over 100 tree saplings and again demands 100,000 yuan. His father tries to explain that security cameras can prove his innocence, but the scammer claims the device is broken. Then the bald man mocks the family's financial condition, saying poor people like them would never have that kind of money. With hidden intentions, the villain pulls out a house transfer contract and tells his father to sign it to settle the so-called debt. Extortion dressed up as negotiation. Desperate, his parents begin to cry, realizing they are about to be blackmailed out of their home. At that moment, he glares at the enemy with pure hatred and says that he has been bullying the villagers for far too long. The bully laughs at the threat and mocks him, wondering if the former debtor really thinks he became someone important outside. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echo from outside. The gang has brought backup. Several henchmen armed with bats surround them. He is told there will be no more talking, and today he will face the consequences. With a dark expression, he declares that the day of reckoning has finally come for everyone present. Without hesitation, he steps forward and throws a powerful punch straight into the leader's face, releasing all his suppressed anger, the first blow in a war he's been waiting to fight for years. Bald man spits out a tooth and goes mad with rage, ordering his men to finish him without mercy. Suddenly, the beautiful driver jumps into the fight and prepares to confront the advancing thugs. With swift movements, she delivers a precise kick to one attacker's chin, stunning him instantly. In the next moment, she displays incredible combat skills, using acrobatic moves to knock down the rest of the gang. World champion drivers, it seems, are also world champion fighters. Outside, neighbors hear the fight and comment that the Lin family is truly in serious trouble this time. Then the main door bursts open with a loud crash, shocking everyone nearby. To everyone's surprise, the thugs are thrown out of the house one by one. The injured gang leader, face bruised and swollen, threatens him, saying their revenge is not over. With that, the bullies run away in humiliation, tails between their legs while he watches them with disdain. The neighbors immediately change their attitude and begin praising him, saying he was always talented. The same people who were mocking him moments ago now claim they always believed in him. Inside the house, he hugs his parents and apologizes for all the suffering they endured. His father says it's all right, but after this fight, they can't continue living in the village. With a reassuring smile, he calms them and reveals that he returned precisely to take them to the city to live with him, a promise made in childhood, finally fulfilled in adulthood. Suddenly, he feels a sharp dizziness and a strange aura begins to surround his body. His parents look at him with concern and ask what is happening to him. He collapses unconscious into the driver's arms, and his parents panic, thinking he was injured during the fight. Outside, the gossiping neighbors whisper that he was only pretending to be brave and that hard days are still ahead for the family. Because for some people, hope is just another thing to tear down. After a while, he regains consciousness and says he's fine. It was just exhaustion from not sleeping well recently. He insists again that they will move to the city, live in a big house, and never be bullied again. He tells them the car is waiting at the village entrance and they can leave whenever they're ready. As they walk away, the neighbors start gossiping again, wondering why he would take his parents to the city. But they all fall silent when they see the luxury car and begin speculating how he could possibly afford something so expensive. Silence, the truest admission of defeat. A few hours later, they arrive at a fancy commercial building. He says they now need proper new clothes. His parents are overwhelmed by the luxury of the place and say they don't want to go inside, afraid of causing trouble. Years of hardship have taught them to expect rejection. Smiling, he reassures them not to worry because their son no longer lacks money. The chapter of poverty is closed. A new one is about to begin. However, his mother panics when she sees a price tag of 9,990 yuan. Desperate, she tries to pull him outside, saying it's robbery and they can't afford it. Old habits of frugality don't disappear overnight, even when the bank account says otherwise. In the process, she accidentally bumps into another woman. The woman immediately snaps, calling her blind and asking if she doesn't watch where she's going. Lin Yuan's mother apologizes sincerely, saying it was completely her fault. To her surprise, the woman recognizes her and complains about the bad luck of running into poor, useless relatives, because nothing says class like mocking family members in public. Mrs. Lin asks in confusion what she means by that insult. The wealthy woman arrogantly tells her to know her place and stay away so the smell of poverty doesn't dirty her designer clothes. Lin Yuan's father steps forward and offers to apologize on behalf of his son for any misunderstanding. The rich woman laughs mockingly at the idea of marriage between their families, as if the very suggestion were beneath her. At that moment, Lin Yuan's ex-girlfriend appears, and her mother proudly boasts about her new son-in-law, the famous young master's son. Lin Yuan's parents ask him if what they're saying is true. He calmly confirms that he and the girl have indeed broken up. No drama, no denial, just facts. The young woman tells him to find someone at his own level, and her mother adds that no girl wants a poor boy. She even brags that she can buy anything in the store while they can only stand and watch from afar. The arrogance of new money is always louder than old money's whispers. Unexpectedly, the driver steps forward and coldly says that gold-digging trash like them is not worthy of her boss. She adds that she would stay by Lin Yuan's side even without money, unlike people who show off with wealth that isn't theirs, a direct hit that lands harder than any punch. The rich woman shouts that she doesn't want to hear any more nonsense and asks if Mr. Lin plans to just stand there listening. At that moment, Lin Yuan takes out his card and calmly tells the saleswoman to pack everything in the store for his parents and his companion. The employee is stunned and stammers that the total will be at least 8 million yuan, the kind of shopping spree that most people only dream about. She asks if he is serious. The ex-girlfriend sneers, saying that if he even has 800 yuan in his account, it would already be a miracle and that he's just pretending to be rich. Projection, thy name is ex-girlfriend. But in front of everyone, the machine confirms the 8 million yuan payment without any issue. The ex-mother-in-law immediately accuses him of using credit. However, the saleswoman quickly clarifies, it's a black card, the kind of card that doesn't just say wealthy, it screams it. The woman then claims he must be using Mr. Li's card because acknowledging his success would break her worldview. At that point, Lin Yuan decides to completely open their eyes. With a faint smile, he announces that to end the argument, he will simply buy the entire store. The employee turns pale and says the store is worth 100 million yuan. The woman screams that it's impossible for him to have that kind of money. He calmly apologizes for disappointing her and swipes the card. 100 million yuan paid effortlessly. The sound of a worldview shattering has no volume, but everyone hears it. The saleswoman immediately addresses him as Boss Lin. He declares that the store is now closed and that the two women are permanently banned from entering, the ultimate power move. Not just buying everything, but ensuring they can never come back. The ex-girlfriend shouts that he's a fraud and that the money must have been borrowed from Mr. Li. Denial is the longest river in Egypt, and she's swimming in it. Security steps forward and escorts them out, warning that if they cause a scene, things will get worse. With hatred burning in her eyes, the girl swears she will wait for the day Mr. Li stops funding Lin Yuan, as if that day will ever come. Back in the car, Lin Yuan's father says it all feels like a dream. He never imagined living such a life. His son reassures them that their good life has only just begun, the first chapter of a new story. The driver asks what their next destination is. He decides they will attend the biggest auction in the city because his father loves collecting antiques and now he can finally afford them, a son's promise fulfilled. The scene shifts to night in front of a grand and impressive building where the charity auction is being held. Inside the hall, a host thanks the Tanya Group for their generous support and invites guests to enter with their invitations. At the entrance, an employee stops Lin Yuan and his family, demanding to see their invitation. He sneers at them, calling them country bumpkins and asking where they bought their fake clothes. The uniform of the gatekeeper is always the same, regardless of the building. Then he tells them to leave immediately. Lin Yuan's face darkens with anger. Staring coldly at the arrogant employee, he asks, "What did you just say?" The man threatens to throw them out, but before he can act, a firm voice orders him to stop at once. The son of the elderly man Lin Yuan steps forward and demands to know how a security guard dares to touch his VIP guest. The crowd recognizes him as Liang, a powerful figure. The employee panics upon seeing such an important person and tries to explain himself, but he can't form a proper sentence out of fear. The moment when bully becomes beggar is always satisfying to watch. The wealthy heir orders his men to remove the employee immediately so Mr. Lin's mood won't be ruined. Then Liang bows slightly and apologizes to Lin Yuan and his family for the embarrassment. The surrounding guests are stunned. Who exactly is this young man to receive a personal apology from someone like Lin Yuan's father, completely confused, quietly asks his son what is happening. Liang explains that Lin Yuan saved his father's life and is therefore the benefactor of their family, the kind of debt that money can't repay. With the misunderstanding resolved, he invites everyone into the hall, saying the auction is about to begin. As the organizer, he hopes everyone enjoys the event and hints that there will be a final special item prepared for Mr. Lin personally. The auction begins with high energy. A valuable vase quickly sells for over 5 million yuan. Later, the host announces the treasure of the night, the fortune-bringing ruby. It is crafted from 10,000-year-old warm jade and inlaid with night pearls and red gold. The base is made of purple sandalwood, decorated with 7 jewels and golden threads. Not only is it beautiful, but according to tradition, it attracts wealth and protects the household from financial misfortune, a collector's dream and a gambler's prayer. The starting bid is set at 10 million yuan. The bidding intensifies rapidly. 18 million, 25 million, 28 million. Then suddenly a wealthy man stands up and bids 50 million yuan, declaring he would do anything for his wife. The audience praises him as the representative of the Kishing Group announces the bid proudly. His wife smiles with satisfaction as the auctioneer begins the countdown. But just as the gavel is about to fall, Lin Yuan speaks in a calm yet firm voice, 100 million yuan. The hall falls silent. He adds casually that his girlfriend also happens to like the item very much, a statement delivered with such nonchalance that it borders on insulting. Everyone is stunned. Who exactly is this Lin Yuan? The host warns that according to the rules, any bid above 100 million requires immediate asset verification. Without hesitation, he agrees and authorizes verification in front of everyone. Moments later, the giant screen displays his account balance, over 900 billion yuan. The entire hall gasps. It becomes clear that Lin Yuan is a hidden tycoon, the kind of wealth that doesn't advertise, it just shows up when needed. The auctioneer then requests the competing bidder to verify his assets as well. The wealthy man turns red with embarrassment when the screen reveals he only has 90 million yuan in liquid funds, a fraction of what he claimed to have. The auctioneer declares that his limit is insufficient and disqualifies him from the bidding. The man protests angrily, claiming that isn't his total wealth, but he is firmly silenced. All he can do now is sweat coldly in humiliation and anger. His companion tries to comfort, whispering that Lin Yuan only has this status because of Mr. Lei and that it won't last long, the desperate rationalization of those who refuse to see the truth. The gavel strikes. The fortune-bringing Rui now belongs to Mr. Lin Yuan. Liang congratulates him and invites him to rest in the VIP room, which he accepts. Inside the VIP lounge, the CEO of another major group introduces himself and even offers his business card to the new tycoon. But the moment Lin Yuan holds the Rui in his hands, he feels a strange presence. A mysterious shadow seems to form before him. Suddenly, the artifact begins glowing with a bright light in his hands. At that instant, a terrible headache strikes him. He groans in pain. Panic erupts in the room. Someone shouts, "Call an ambulance immediately." Darkness spreads everywhere. A violent cosmic tunnel forms in the void. Amidst the chaos, Lin Yuan is floating weightlessly. Only one question echoes in his mind. Where is this place? I just fainted, didn't I? Suddenly, a burst of golden light explodes from one side. He raises his hand to shield his eyes. The darkness slowly retreats, revealing a massive presence ahead of him. Its mere existence creates an overwhelming pressure in the air, the kind of weight that makes you question everything you thought you knew. A thunderous voice echoes through the void. Below that towering figure, Lin Yuan looks tiny and insignificant, bent slightly under the pressure, yet still alert. The being introduces himself as the 99th god of wealth of the three realms. Sweat forms on his forehead. The god of wealth, he stammers. In his hand, a glowing seal appears. The deity explains that with this seal, Lin Yuan will be able to sense the flow of fortune and wealth across the three realms, a superpower that would make any investor weep with envy. He grows serious. Then the god warns him, a massive economic catastrophe is coming. He gestures forward. Lin Yuan's eyes widen. The atmosphere becomes suffocating. He gasps and sits upright in a hospital bed. The sheets are scattered around him. A dream, he mutters. Soft morning light fills the quiet, clean room. He looks around slowly, relief settling in his chest. Just then, the curtain moves aside and Li enters with a faint smile. "Mr. Lin, you're awake," Li says happily. "The medical team is ready outside." He replies that he's fine, probably just hasn't been resting properly lately. Li's expression turns serious. "Is something troubling you?" A brief tension fills the room. Lin Yuan takes a deep breath. "I want to establish a company." His eyes burn with determination. "I want to compete directly with the Kishing Group." His fist tightens slightly, a fist that's been waiting years to throw this punch. Li smiles knowingly. "I had a feeling. You'll have my full support." Lin Yuan clarifies that this is not merely personal revenge. Kishing has controlled half of Jenking's economic lifelines. They've destroyed countless young people's futures. He doesn't want dreams to die just because of money, a mission statement that sounds noble because it is. Mr. Li nods with admiration and promises full backing. Lin Yuan asks him to arrange the company registration. Li asks for the name with a faint smile. He answers, "Kishing Group." Scene shift. Inside Kishing Group's luxurious office, the ex-girlfriend and the fat man are looking at their phones. She mocks him. He wants to make people rich, still dreaming. She scoffs at the name Kishing. The man laughs, "Copycat, who would invest in that?" Suddenly, his face stiffens on the phone screen. Breaking news, Kishing Group officially established. Founder, Lin Yuan. Upcoming Business Alliance Chairman press conference. Lin Yuan stands confidently on stage. Reporters fire questions. CEO Lin Kishing Group focuses on investing in young entrepreneurs and supporting public livelihoods. But projects like these usually have long return cycles and high risks. "Aren't you afraid of financial losses?" He answers calmly, "Yes, I'm afraid. But I'm more afraid that young people's dreams will die." Another reporter raises a tougher question. In the southern part of Janking City, there's a barren mountain area plagued by landslides for years. Government once planned redevelopment but halted it due to extreme costs. "If you claim to support livelihoods, have you considered this hot potato?" The crowd murmurs. "That's a money grave, a project that's buried every investor who's dared to touch it." Lin Yuan remains composed. I've heard about the southern barren mountain. The residents have suffered for years. This is not a hot potato. It's an urgent livelihood issue that must be solved. He looks directly at the cameras. Today, in front of Jenkins' senior officials and the media, I announce that Kishing Group will fully invest in the Southern Barren Mountain Development Project. The hall falls silent in shock. Reporters shout questions at once. When will the project start? How long will it take to complete? He raises his hand gently, calming the room. I will release the full details soon. His voice is steady, confident, unshakable. The voice of a man who's been waiting for this moment his entire life. Scene shift, night. Inside Jennifer's office, the same couple laughs mockingly. Let's see how long his dream lasts. The girl sneers. That loser is dreaming even in broad daylight. The fat bursts into laughter. Haha, it's all empty talk, just hot air. He won't achieve anything. But far away, the game has already begun. Next day, inside a high-level meeting room, the atmosphere is extremely tense. An executive bluntly warns, the Southern Barren Mountain has become a nightmare for Jenkins. In the past 10 years, 5 investors stepped in. Every single time money was lost, and in the end, they had to sell assets just to repay debts. But Lin Yuan remains completely unmoved. His decision is firm. The investment will proceed. The project proposal file is opened. The previous losses are clearly listed. 230 million here, 50 to 100 million there. Massive financial disasters that would make most investors run for the hills. Lin Yuan turns to his driver, Jinwoo. Within 3 days, I want a complete exploration report. She immediately responds, understood. At that moment, Lee smiles slightly. I knew I wouldn't be able to persuade you otherwise. He opens his briefcase and slides a document forward. This is the contact for Jenkins' best construction team. I'll advance the initial costs. Consider it my share. Construction begins immediately. On the barren mountain, rows of heavy trucks line up. Drilling machines roar to life. Workers move at full speed. Excavators dig deep. Dump trucks transport debris. Conveyor belts run continuously. The entire mining operation comes alive, a symphony of industry that drowns out the doubters. Meanwhile, Lin Yuan makes a massive transfer. His phone vibrates, successfully transferred. Suddenly, Jinwoo rushes into the office. Mr. Lin, it's urgent. Public opinion has exploded. News headlines flood the media. Lin Yuan called a fool. Dream-making company burns millions on barren mountain. No expected return in sight. Online comments pour in. How tragic. President Lin just took a huge loss. A female reporter appears on television. Millions invested into the barren mountain. The investment world remains pessimistic. Can Jenkins' new tycoon turn this gamble around? Jinwoo reports. Seriously, public sentiment is extremely negative. Lin Yuan stands by the window calmly. In just 1 week, they've already launched a public offensive. These people are so impatient. He smirks slightly. Unfortunately for them, they chose the wrong opponent. Scene shift at the top floor banquet hall of Jennifer Group. A party is underway to celebrate what they believe is Lin Yuan's impending failure. Music plays, drinks flow, laughter echoes. Lin Yuan's ex-girlfriend asks young master son, isn't this party a bit too much? He laughs confidently. Relax, baby. If that broken wasteland produces any return, it'll be nothing short of a ghost story. He mocks Lin Yuan further. He invested too fast. If something goes wrong, this lavish party will turn into his funeral. Young master son raises his glass proudly. Tonight I'll cover all expenses. Enjoy yourselves. Then his phone rings. He answers and within seconds his face turns ugly. He begins shouting in fury and slams the phone to the ground. His partner tries to calm him. What happened? But he snaps at her to get out. Grinding his teeth, he roars, Lin Yuan, that trash. What exactly is backing him? Scene rewind. 1 hour earlier at the construction site, Lin Yuan asks a worker, how's the situation? The worker replies excitedly, President Lin, you came at the perfect time. While excavating today, we hit something extremely hard. At first, we thought it was just rock, but after further inspection, we found golden minerals mixed in the soil. He swallows in disbelief. With my years of experience, this is gold. He almost shouts, it's a real gold mine. At that exact moment, Li arrives and hugs Lin Yuan, laughing loudly. Lin Yuan, you really are a lucky star. Things like this happen maybe once a year. This time we slapped all those naysayers hard. He asks jokingly, did you predict this? Lin Yuan smiles lightly. President Lee, stop teasing me. Who could predict something like this? Let's just say my determination moved heaven. Then he turns serious. Jinwoo, strengthen security around the site immediately. Install surveillance across the perimeter. State assets under my supervision must not face any risks. Lee looks surprised. You plan to hand over the gold mine development to the government. Lin Yuan nods firmly. Of course, a gold mine is a national asset. My connections in this region are limited, so I'll need your help arranging introduction. Lee becomes serious. I didn't misjudge you. Leave this to me. Meanwhile, somewhere in Janking, the news spreads like wildfire. The so-called foolish gamble has turned into a historic discovery, and Lin Yuan has just taken his first step toward reshaping the entire economic landscape. Janking City Government Building. A high-level meeting is underway regarding the gold mine development feasibility report. Director Jiang from the municipal government office looks at Lin Yuan seriously. Mr. Lin, I've heard that before discovering the gold mine, your company was operating at a loss. He responds calmly, I understand the leader's concerns. If I can contribute to Jenkins' development, then even losing some money is acceptable. Director Zhang nods in approval. You truly have a heart for development. He gets straight to the point. The city is preparing to launch the gold mine development project. We want to hear your suggestions. Lin Yuan speaks clearly and confidently. Development must be comprehensive. It cannot be limited to mining alone. He proposes building an IP matrix around the gold mine, connecting upstream and downstream industries. Director Zhang raises his eyebrows. An IP matrix, that would be far better than simple extraction. Do you have a concrete plan? He nods. There will be two parallel routes. First, an economic route, from gold extraction to customized gold jewelry manufacturing. An integrated one-stop service chain to strengthen the mining industry. Second, a cultural route. Build a gold mountain museum, allowing visitors to understand Janking's history. In addition, create 3 cultural tourism zones: Janking Wetlands, Janking Beauties, and Guiding Janking. These zones would showcase local customs, heroic figures, and historic architecture. By combining both routes, we can attract outside tourists while promoting local culture. He adds firmly, I will take responsibility for development. Funding can be arranged later. If there are profits, my share will go entirely to public welfare. Director Zhang stands up, visibly impressed. I did not expect such awareness from someone so young. The city will adopt your plan and give full support. Lin Yuan bows slightly. Thank you for the trust. I will not let Janking down. At the end of the meeting, Deputy Mayor Jiang praises him enthusiastically. Mr. Lin, your plan has given Janking's economy wings. You've revived what was once a dead board. The younger generation is truly remarkable. He smiles modestly. It's all thanks to the leader's trust. Corridor conversation. While walking out, someone mentions, the chairman of the Joint Chamber of Commerce recently retired. Yes, but no successor has been selected yet. A subtle suggestion is made. There happens to be a capable person standing right. They are clearly hinting at Lin Yuan. He politely declines. Thank you for thinking highly of me, but I want to focus on completing the gold mine project first. Other matters can wait. Back at the barren mountain, Lin Yuan inspects the development plans with his team. For villagers who need relocation, full compensation must be guaranteed. Understood, his assistant replies. Li suggests build the museum. He preserves the mountain's natural formation and maintains safe distance from the mine. Lin Yuan adds, connect the village and tourism areas with an eco-walkway for easier transportation. His assistant hands over a survey report. Most villagers depend on farming and small-scale work. He responds immediately. As construction begins, prioritize their employment needs. Li nods approvingly. But if we expand the project scope, we'll need more capital. Also, remember most of Janking's financial resources are tied up with Kishing Group. That's not ideal for you. Lin Yuan's eyes sharpen. Then we'll take that capital back. Breaking news, Janking First Bank terminates cooperation with Kishing Group. New strategic partner, rising entrepreneur Lin Yuan. Investors panic. Shares are dumped. Kishing stock price plummets rapidly. Kishing Group conference room. The atmosphere is suffocating. An executive reports in just 3 days over a dozen partners have withdrawn. Another slams the table. This is all Lin Yuan's fault. If he hadn't hyped that gold mine project and stolen the spotlight, we wouldn't be in this situation. The blame shifts directly to young Master Sun. He glares. What do you mean? The executive replies coldly. I mean exactly what I said. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be suffering this humiliation. He snaps back. What did I even do? Properly. Someone answers bluntly. You stole his girlfriend without knowing his background. Then you repeatedly targeted and humiliated him. Now look at the consequences. Another voice adds, the government stands with him. Kishing stock is collapsing. This happened because of you. Young Master Sun explodes. Shut up, someone throw him out. Inside his thoughts burn with fury. Lin Yuan, if I don't take revenge for this, I'm not a man. Kishing Tower, young Master Sun's counterattack. Few hours later, Kishing Tower appears on screen. Inside a luxurious office, young Master Sun sits on a sofa while Lin Yuan's ex-girlfriend massages his shoulders. A man in a suit walks in. Boss, were you looking for me? Sun speaks coldly. The crops near that construction site aren't getting water. Send some people to water them. He pauses, then adds with a sinister smile, and take my imported jammer with you. Make sure the job is clean. He points to an envelope on the table. Send this test report out as well. Settle things with the inspection agency. The employee nods immediately. Don't worry, young Master Sun. I'll make sure everything is handled. Stormy night. Heavy rain pours down. Dark farmland stretches endlessly. A truck is parked nearby. Men stand in the shadows. Black water snakes through the grass like a silent poison. Days later, chaos erupts. Protests explode outside Kishing Group's building. Give us back our farmland. Black-hearted company. Get out of Janking. At the construction site, crowds gather. We want answers today. Lin Yuan, come out. A female reporter broadcasts live. During gold excavation, contaminated industrial waste water from Kishing's construction site allegedly flowed into nearby farmland, causing crop destruction. She interviews a crying farmer. Everything is ruined. We survive on farming. How will we live now? An angry man shouts. Kishing hasn't said a word. That coward Lin Yuan is hiding like a turtle. We'll sue him. We want justice. The reporter concludes dramatically. Media offensive. At a press event, a speaker addresses journalists. Kishing Group is ignoring public interest for selfish gain. He raises his voice. If ordinary people lose their land, how will they survive? As an entrepreneur of janking, I despise such black-hearted companies. Two young men echo loudly. President Sun is right. Kishing has gone too far. One shouts into the mic. If they show no mercy, we won't either. Reporters declare, we will fight for justice. We won't allow President Lin to harm our people. Young Master Sun laughs viciously. Lin Yuan, you dare fight me. The spit of Janking's people will drown you. Public opinion turns. Breaking news flashes across giant screens. Industrial wastewater illegally discharged by Kishing Group has severely polluted farmland. Citizens whisper, I didn't expect Kishing to be this cruel. All for a gold mine. A little girl asks her mother, Mom, who is that man? Why is everyone scolding him? Her mother replies, his name is Lin Yuan. He's a black-hearted businessman. Kishing Group Tower Crisis. Crowds gather outside shouting angrily, punish the black-hearted businessman. On a high balcony stand three figures, Lin Yuan, his assistant Jin Woo, and Li. Inside, Li urges, change into a bodyguard uniform and leave with my car. Lin Yuan smiles calmly. Thank you, Mr. Li, but I've done nothing wrong. I won't hide. Jin Woo says anxiously, it's obvious someone is framing you. Do we have a way to fight back? He nods. I expected this. He takes out a USB drive. Backup surveillance footage, water quality comparison reports, evidence that the inspection agency accepted bribes. He hands it over. Jinwoo deliver this to Director Jiang. Once confirmed, we hold an emergency press conference. Official investigation. Authorities discuss findings. The site cameras were blurred. Some angles were deliberately damaged. For water testing, both sides claim different results. No conclusion yet. But inside a car, someone says, if official investigation matches Lin Yuan's report and confirms bribery, it proves conspiracy. Emergency press conference. Next day's headline, Kishing Group to address recent events. Young Master Sun laughs while reading it. Final struggle, he smirks. Once his reputation collapses, Kishing will fall into our hands. The truth revealed. At the press conference, Lin Yuan speaks calmly. Thank you for coming, you're here for the truth. He gestures toward the screen. This clip is from our surveillance system. A reporter shouts, it's unclear. He nods. Yes, because the cameras were interfered with. He continues, we invited the Provincial Science Institute experts to restore the footage in high quality. The enhanced version has been submitted to police. Sun's face stiffens. How did they restore it? I erased everything. Lin Yuan adds, under government coordination, water samples from farmland and our site were compared. An expert steps forward. Our tests show significant differences between the samples. The so-called pollution report lacks credibility. Gasps fill the room. The expert continues, police also discovered that the inspection agency received a large unexplained payment one day before issuing the report. The media erupts. So it was a setup. Sun stands angrily. Lin Yuan, this isn't over. Police step in. Mr. Sun, please come with us. He panics. What is this? He is escorted away, the mighty brought low. Lin Yuan's final announcement. He speaks once more. Janking's gold mine will belong to the state. All future commercial profits will go entirely toward public welfare construction in Janking. Awards ceremony. Director Jiang presents him with the Janking Special Contribution Award in recognition of Mr. Lin Yuan's responsibility and dedication. He bows slightly. Thank you for the government's trust. But suddenly he feels dizzy. The room spins and Lin Yuan collapses. The weight of his new life, it seems, has finally caught up with him.